Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365. I'm Den Haring, and it is the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a great Christmas, but it's also Topwater Tuesday, and we've got an interesting one for you today because we've been waiting for these, and I got them. I got a lot of them. It's the Berkley Nessie soft plastic glide bait. You might be saying, well, what's that have to do with Topwater Tuesday? I'm guessing these can be fished as a topwater. Maybe not, but we're going to find out. We're going to take you out in the water right now and show you how these things work. And even if it doesn't work as a topwater, you may want to still see how they work. But if it does work as a topwater, well, that's just that much better for Topwater Tuesday. So let's go out and take a look at it and get into all the details. Try the 5-inch, the 7-inch, and the 9-inch. We're going to go with the smallest first. And we're at our local pond here, and unfortunately we really can't step down where we normally step. It's underwater. The pond is really high. Rain must have rained pretty good here. Alright, so this is the 5-inch one. It's pretty small demeanor because it's not very wide, so anything would eat this. Now, there's been some complaints that I've seen about this where they say it doesn't work, that it doesn't have any action. We're going to find out right now. Throw it on our topwater rod and we'll see. Well, let's see how it sits in the water first. So let's just see that. First, it has a very natural look to it. And it does have some good action as well. I mean, you might have to impart a little bit of it, but yeah, I like it already. Let's just show you this thing here. So it's just a little bit of a nose down attitude. That might be because I have a small snap on the front, although that's very lightweight. Yeah, just get it out here again so you can see how it sits in the water. Alright, let's see how it works in the water. We'll get it out there and see what we can do with it from a topwater point of view. Wow. Yeah, it works. Look at that. That is crazy. So that's right under the surface. You see me just imparting all kinds of action. I'm just going to reel it in straight and see what happens with it. Get it out there a little further. So here's a straight retrieve. You got to go, you have to get to a certain speed before it begins to act. It will not work. Let's do this, show you this again. So at a slow speed, doesn't do anything, although I wouldn't doubt if that would catch fish. Now when I speed it up, now it starts to act. So you can see that glide action on the faster retrieves, and that must be what some of the people were noticing, that maybe they couldn't retrieve it fast enough, or maybe it needed to be adjusted, because it does have these planing. I don't know if you can see this because it's so darn clear. It does have these planing items here, and so every now and then they may need to be adjusted. But wherever there's lakes with those small alewives, like you know, look at that. I mean, I could just make it do that. It almost looks like it's doing that circle that the alewives do when they are spawning. So yeah, this is going to catch fish. There's no question in my mind. I'm looking forward to throwing this as a topwater. Look at that. You can make it look like it's dying and then stop it. Make it look like it's dying, stop it. When you stop it, that's when they're going to crush it. That's when they're going to crush it. Now, I know it's Topwater Tuesday, but I want to see how long it takes for this thing to go down a little ways. So it's got a real slow sink to it. Very slow. But you can get it down there and make it work under the water as well. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Very nice action here. And it's just got that dead fall to it too. Boy, oh boy. Gotta like that. Look at that. Jeez. That is something. Now, we'll just show you how slow the sink rate is here, which is why I consider this easily, it can be a topwater lure. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we're at 5 seconds. You know, to get a foot in depth, 4 or 5 seconds to go down 1 foot. That's a very slow fall. but I can make it do some nice things on the top here. And I can see myself catching a lot of big smallmouths and largemouths and stripers on this thing. Look at that. Yeah, this is going to be fun to fish with. That's my prediction. This is going to be fun to fish with. See what happens if you just reel fast. Look at that. It just has that super S panicky look. Go real fast again, and then stop. Real fast, stop. Real fast, and see how it goes off to the side when you stop. Well, that's when they're going to crush it. That's one way of throwing it. Another way is just to do that, walking the dog on the surface. Erratic looking. Yeah, it's going to get crushed. Yeah, I like that one. Now, let's see if we can get how slow you can retrieve it and have it work. Because here, if you get it to go and then just go slow, you can make it do this. You have to get it started first to get that slow wobble retrieve. The bigger ones are going to work much better that way, I think. We'll see in a minute. Got to get it started and then just go slow. And then you have that little injured look. Yeah, that's nice too. And I can make a wake on the surface that way too. So again, topwater application here. Just get that going and then make it wake. Makes that one nice wake on the surface. Whew, that's going to get them too. All right, lots of ways to fish the little 5-incher. Let's go to the 7-incher and see what that does. Can't wait to really fish these things. All right, so here's the 7-incher. This is a really nice color too. Look at this bait. I got the white in this one too, but I got this color. I think it's called shad or shiner. I'm not sure, but look at that green olive back. It's got that bluish aqua on the gills. Just a really nice color. Let's see how this one acts in the water. So we'll see how it just lays there. Same attitude as the other one. A little bit just nose down slightly, but when you reel it, it's not going. And look at, does that thing look like it's alive or what? Just playing with it here. Holy crap. Yeah, this one's gonna catch fish. This one's gonna catch fish maybe today if I go fishing. I mean, all right, let's take a look at what this does out there a little further. Very slow sink like the other, a wider swim, and a really nice swim. Boy, the 7-incher looks good. Look at that. Look at that. It looks like it's hurt. It actually swims like that S, but it turns on its side a little bit when it does it, but then it corrects itself as soon as it goes to the other side. And man, that has a really nice and sick look to it, like it's hurt. Think that's gonna catch fish? Holy crap, I wouldn't doubt if I caught one right in your pond here. So again, this is Topwater Tuesday. This thing can be used as a topwater. Look at the wake I'm making with it here. You know, and then this is just wild. Look how this one works. I imagine the bigger they are, the more accentuated the action is. But boy, I like it. I don't even have to do anything with the rod tip, just the reel handle to make it do this, to make it have this action. So, top water, slightly under the water, all good. This thing's gonna catch them. Just kind of working. It's like a I just made it do some crazy stuff there. Kicked it out. See if we can just make it wake on the surface. Here's just the wake. What I'm going to do is slow it down. You can see I can make that wake just under the surface. So as soon as I get it landing out there, if I start to reel it in, there, I'm on the surface, making that wake. And that looks good. Look at that. I sure like when it turns to the side. You can catch fish with this just by doing this with it, just by letting it sink and popping it now and then. You know, look, watch this. Just hopefully you can see it down there. I'm gonna do that again because it went down pretty far. As it's sinking, just pop it here and there. Hopefully you can see that. It just makes it look like it's hurt. I'm gonna bring it up so you can see it. Yeah, it's just like struggling. Look at that. That's really good. Lean in here so you can see it. One more throw out there to demonstrate this one, and then we'll go to the 9-incher. But this one you can make it come up. You can make it just under the surface. This one will be better actually underwater, down a little deeper, just letting it go down and reeling it real slow. But boy, it looks good down there. Let's go to the 9-incher. This one you need a little bit of a heavier action rod. It's a 2-ounce bait, so you're likely to catch bigger fish on it anyway, so you're going to want some bigger meat to get those bigger fish. Let's see how this guy looks just landing in the water here. Balanced nicely, goes down just slightly head first, just like the others, but bigger still, so I imagine it's going to have even a wider. Let's take a look at it. Oh man, I think this might be the best one of all of them. Look at that. Think that's gonna catch him, folks? It's gonna catch him. I can tell you that. Let's see what we can do with it on the surface. Oh man, you can make it crazy on the surface. Look at that. It actually looks like it's chasing something, you know, and then you can slow it down. And holy mackerel, what a nice looking lure. Now let's just check the sink rate on this one. Yeah, about a foot every 2.5 seconds or so. It goes down faster. I'm gonna see it if it stays down there decently when you let it go down. I know it's not top water this way, but I'm just curious to see how it reacts and what it does down there. Because I might fish with this later today if I can keep it down good. Yeah, it looks good. Wow. Wow. All right, back to the topwater portion of this. Let's just get it out there one last time, but boy, it's going to catch fish. Look at up top. I can make it wake, make a nice wake on the surface. Hopefully you guys can see that. Look at that action. I bump a stick there. Oh man. Whew. And the neat thing about these things is they're soft. So if a bass comes up to eat this, it can just kind of crush this to get to the hooks. You know, it's gonna still be able to get to that hook, and you can always use a stinger hook as well if you feel you need one. But our experience with these things is usually the bass aim for the head. They usually go to the head for this bait, for these kind of baits, and so that should make it pretty decent hookup ratio. We'll have to play with it on the water to see for sure. Well, you saw them, folks, or at least I hope you saw it through that footage. I am very excited to fish these baits, all three of them. I like them all, both as topwaters and fishing them underwater. The small one is only 2/5 of an ounce, so you can use your standard topwater gear for this, and that's what I was throwing this one on. This is a very small bait, but it still has the great action to it. All these baits, I believe, are infused with this Berkley Max scent as well. You can smell it. So it's even got scent attraction to it. So the fish get close to it, if they can smell that, or at least taste it and grab onto it better, so much the better. For this one, I'm using a topwater rod, medium light, 20-pound test spider wire stealth braid, and I was using 15-pound test fluorocarbon leader. I use Seagar fluorocarbon leader. You might ask, well, why not? You know, if you're throwing this as topwater, why not throw it with monofilament? And you can, but this bait does sink, and so I'm just trying to make it wake on the water and make it dance and skip off the water. So fluorocarbon is just as good for that application. For the 7-inch bait, I think that one weighs an ounce. So, you know, a good jig rod is all you need for this. This rod here is set up for 1.5 ounce lures as its maximum weight. It's a medium heavy, more on the heavy side action rod, but it casts this size bait just right. So you want a rod that casts a 1 ounce bait when you're fishing a 7-incher, and this is the appropriate rod. And what I used here is the same kind of setup. 20-pound test braid, 15 or 20-pound test fluoro would be fine for the 7-incher. And then for the 9-incher, this thing weighs 2 ounces, so I'm using a heavier action rod. This is a Shimano SLX heavy fast action rod. It's meant for swim baits, and it's got that it's a heavy action rod with a fast tip, and it was nice for throwing this bait out there. It worked really well. And I have a Shimano Curado on there. I'll probably upgrade that Curado down the line. This is a brand new rod for me. Wanting to get into the swim bait fishing more, I needed to get better gear for it. So this rod, even though it's not very expensive, is really good for throwing these swim baits. And this bait here, throwing the 2-ouncer, I recommend 30-pound test braid, spider wire stealth, and 20-pound test fluorocarbon. Again, I'm using the Seagar fluorocarbon. I think I'm using Blue Label on this particular one. But all the Seagar fluorocarbon line, all of it is very good. I've never had any of that stuff fail me. It's an excellent line. So you got to make sure you're set up right with the right equipment for all 3 sizes. But you know, if you only want to fish one size and you didn't know what to fish, I would recommend the 7-inch size because it's got the best properties of both. You can keep it up on the surface easy enough. It works very well. It's not too big or cumbersome to throw. It'll catch average size bass, but it'll catch big fish as well. So it's got the best of both worlds. It works a little bit more like the bigger one. The bigger you go with this bait, the wider that glide, and the better I think it actually looks. But the small one, you can make dance and skip off the surface of the water, and you can do a lot of the walking of the dog with the small one. So all these are going to have their applications, I'm sure, for fishing, and I can't wait to experiment with them and get out there and really fish them all and hopefully make some good videos in the future for you. For that, might have to wait until spring. It's water's getting very cold now. We'll have to see. This big one might still be able to catch some in the cold water if you get it out there and get it down a little ways. Looking forward to fishing all this stuff. That's it for this Topwater Tuesday. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget, hit that thumbs up. That keeps my channel going. That gets me more views. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what I'm providing here, consider subscribing to the channel. If you do, or when you do, hit that bell. That'll give you a notification for when the next video is coming out. We're trying to do, we do one Topwater Tuesday every week, guaranteed, unless something comes up that prevents me. And I try and do 1 or 2 videos on top of that. I'm hoping to be able to get into doing more in the next few weeks as things settle down away from the holiday season. So we'll see. It all depends on my health and the health of my family as well, but we'll get there one way or another. Hope to see you out on the water. Be safe out there, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors. Merry Christmas, everyone.